Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free with true solutions to heal for real from narcissistic abuse and painful relationship patterns. More than just information to survive, you are granted the tools to thrive. In today's episode, I want to talk about how a narcissist and narcissistic abuse changes you. And I want to talk about my experience and those of so many other people who I've met on this healing journey. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go into how most people do believe narcissistic abuse changes you, how it really has a higher potential to change you for the better, and how to claim your higher healing potential. Okay, so just before we get started, remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and like this video if you find it helpful. Okay, so let's get started. And we're going to talk about the common belief of how narcissistic abuse changes you. And you will hear this widely. This is how most people talk about it. Sadly, most people believe that the changes are going to be for the worse. And initially, before I found Thriver Recovery, that's exactly the rhetoric. That was what I heard, that the best is that you can be a survivor. So, okay, you may be able to get out and you can get away from the narcissist, but you're going to have a diminished experience and that you're going to have horrible narcissistic abuse symptoms, things like post-traumatic stress disorder, adrenal malfunction. You're going to have fibromyalgia and, all sorts of nasties. And of course, anxiety and depression, which could be a lifelong thing for you, or years or decades and all the rest of it. And sadly, for many people, that is the case. When I had narcissistic abuse and before I learned about Thriver Recovery, I would go to, I would go to people that knew about narcissistic abuse, and even the doctors and the specialists and everybody said to me that, it could be years or ever before, you're going to be changed and you're going to be diminished as a result of this experience. And when I had my breakdown from it, I was 100% told that I would never, after an adrenal and a psychotic breakdown, I would never operate as normal again, and that I would need antipsychotics for the rest of my life, and I could not expect to be able to be functional and to have a normal life. That was the diagnosis that I was given. And I know that that's a diagnosis that many of you have been given, and maybe you've been on abuse forums and people have said, well, it's too late for me. I lost everything. I can't ever rebuild now. And the best I can do is warn other people. And there will be people that will tell you, you need to talk about it over and over and over and over again to detox from it. None of that is true. So I really want to talk to you about how the changes from narcissistic abuse can be not just positive, but actually spectacularly, stunningly positive. And I'm not telling you that to be a Pollyanna or give you false hope or to talk rubbish to you. I'm here to tell you the absolute truth. And I'm not here to tell you that it's easy, you're going to click your fingers and you're just going to get over it. No, I'm not going to tell you that. But what I am here to tell you is that this is so doable. And what this is so about, it's about the understanding that you do have the power to change your own experience. You see, the thing is, the victim model is, this happened to me, which it did, and it was terrible, horrible. My heart goes out to you. But unless that person is held to account, or they apologize, or they fix it, or something outside of me comes and gives me the things that I lost and gives them back to me, that I can't be better, And the whole victim perspective is something or somebody outside of me needs to change or amend or be held accountable for me to heal and have a great life. And that's a false premise. And that actually means that you've handed your power away and you now don't have any power yourself. The thriver perspective is completely different. The thriver perspective takes the focus off the outside needing to change, and rather than having gone into this happened to me and this person was so bad and I need to learn all about that, it's about why did this happen to me? What was the things within myself that were assigning somebody else as a source of love, approval, survival and security, rather than healing and shoring that up within ourselves. And you see, this is a thing that I understood about myself, and I had to accept as a truth for my own healing, is that even though I was very capable, I was very intelligent, I was able to be highly successful in my life, I hadn't yet learned how to love myself. And people can say, well, what does that mean? Loving yourself, what that means is being willing to be with yourself, warts and all, and release and heal your trauma, transform through and up and out your trauma to actually bring in a higher state of being, to actually get a shift in your being. The thing is, we hadn't understood yet what that really means and what we're capable of producing, because we've all been in a world where we, as children, we needed our stuff from outside of ourselves to try and feel whole. And if we didn't come to a certain level of wholeness, it was our normal. And we were still seeking that from the outside rather than resolving that on the inside. So this is about learning that you can become a conscious quantum being. You can be the creator of your own experience powerfully when you know how to do the inner work to change it all around. So what happens is, from that part of being that victim and being highly traumatized and damaged, and you think, well, I'm always going to have a diminished experience, is when you declare that my greatest mission in this is to come home and heal myself, well, then you can start to take the higher path of your true potential. And what I want you to do, this is a declaration. I want you to pause this video and I want you to write out this self-declaration. And this is it. If I go within, no longer will I need to go without. And I want you to declare it in the comments, and you might want to write it down and keep expressing that to yourself. Because the real work is to go within. It's to change your inner programming. It's about releasing the trauma that's had you in a false, helpless, powerless program of not being self-partnered and not being whole. And faulty programming can be so insidious and it can be so unconscious because it's your normal, because it's all that you've known. So for example, if you've grown up in a family where you've been invalidated, you're not important, you're talked over, you know, your feelings and your rights are not validated or recognized, well, then the beliefs that you will have is that the close people in my life, the people that I'm close to or who love me, don't validate me. I don't have any rights. You're going to feel small. You're going to feel invisible. You're going to feel not valued. And then you're going to keep connecting up to people that fulfill the validity of that inner program. There are so many examples. And if you have a look back at it, your life and what's hurt you, it's going to match what's hurting you today until you clean it up. And another really common example of faulty programming is that men are all after one thing. And, you know, men cheat and men aren't loyal. And what happens is you're going to think that you're connecting up with somebody loyal, but they'll turn out to be exactly that self-fulfilling prophecy, because that's how powerful our programming really is. And when we keep saying, well, I was right, that belief was right, that program was right, but it's actually your feelings and choices that are connecting you up to fulfill that prophecy. That's why the inner work is so, so important. So what happens is when we purposefully go inside to meet and heal what hurts and what's hurt us, and we use an effective method to do that, you are literally reprogramming yourself. You're releasing that program, you bring in the light, which then gives you the wholesome, healed, resolved version of that program. What it means is you can start aligning with your highest and best self, which means your thoughts, your feelings, and your choices can align with that. So rather than being fearful and having energy gaps like you once did in faulty programming, you're cleaning that up, and then you're going to start reaping the benefits in every single area of your life. And how I love doing my inner programming is I work with NARP, and I've been working with those principles and those healings in NARP for over 10 years, and I still use them today. For any faulty programming that triggers up that's not serving me, I shift it, release it, and I change, and my life changes. So I would so love to help you get started on this journey where the changes after narcissistic abuse are not your diminished self. They're not about you dissolving, they're about you evolving. They're not about you disintegrating, they're about you integrating into a more powerful self and being. So to help you get started on this, I'd love to offer you one of my resources that will really help you get clarity about what you've been through and what is necessary for you to truly start healing from that. So I can help you with that by connecting you up to my 11 Telltale Signs quiz. So once you take this quiz, you're going to start getting 7 days of empowerment and healing information that's specific to you, what you've been through and who you went through that with. And also, please remember to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and share it with anybody who you know this information can help. Okay, so I hope that this has helped. As always, I love answering your comments and your questions below. And until the next one, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.